Hello students, welcome to this session. I just saw this NEET test 48 and here's the analysis of the physics part. I find 4 questions as tough. You might not find all 4 as tough, but I have regarded 4 as tough, 20 as medium, 21 as easy. I think question number 18 and 24 has some answer flaws, and question number 44 is a typical one, always gives me trouble because the PMT perhaps gave some other answer and the logic I generally tell my students the answer comes different. So I'll leave it to you how you will do this. Ask your teachers what they feel, because what I feel I have done in that way. All in all, not a tough paper, it's just a regular paper, and going by my formula that 21 plus 10 31, that means 124 125 would be the score anyone doing decent in physics must get, and those doing very good should get 160 score in this paper, or let's say be somewhat lenient. I always expect too much, let's say 150 more if you are doing very good in physics. So this was today's paper. Let's start. The product of linear momentum and angular momentum of an electron of hydrogen atom is proportional to n to the power x, where x is n should be the principal quantum number. What is this? So first of all, linear momentum we know is mv, and angular momentum we know is mvr, that we know in the Bohr model is equal to nh by 2 pi. So what would be p into L proportional to? So L is directly proportional to L n and p is mv. So p is proportional to v, and v you know is proportional to z by n. So p is proportional to 1 by n, L is proportional to n, therefore this would be proportional to, here you can say that is going to be independent of n. So that is going to be independent of n, that means x will be equal to 0. So go for option A in this particular case. Now the second one. When a 7 lithium nuclei is bombarded by protons and the resultant nuclei is beryllium, the emitted particles will be. So what we will have here, bombarded by proton, that is 1h1 we can write, plus 7 nucleus of proton, where normal hydrogen you can write, 7 lithium goes to 8 beryllium. So first of all, if we see, this total is match, this total is also match, so it cannot be electron, it cannot be proton, it can be neutron, it cannot be beta, it can only be gamma, because we have no vacancy for mass number or the atomic number. So it would be gamma photons, that would be the only option here. Next one, you have 3 particles 50, 100, 150 gram placed at the vertices of equilateral triangle of side 1 meter. Okay, the coordinates of the CM will be, so this coordinate you all know is 0, 0. This coordinate you can also write 1, 0, and about this coordinate, x coordinate would be half, and y coordinate you can directly say this is 1, so 1 sin 60, that you can write as root 3 by 2. So first of all, what is XCM? XCM I can write as m1 is 50 into 0 plus this 100 into 1 plus 150 into 1 by 2 I should write, upon 50 plus 100 plus 150. So what we have, 50 into 0, 0, 100 plus 150 by 2, that is 175, and this comes out as what we have, this is 300, so it comes out as 1 by 2 meters. So XCM comes out as 1 by 2 meter, that is 1 by 2 if I am not wrong, not 1 by 2, what I am doing calculation, super mistake. It would be, what I can say, 25 table, it would be 7 by 12 meters. So x coordinate is 7 by 12, it is in 2 option. Now the YCM. So what is YCM? It would be again 50 into 0 plus 100 into 0 plus 150 into root 3 by 2 divided by 300. So it would be 75, 150 up, this would be 75 by 300 I can write, into root 3 I can write 75, that is root 3 by 4, I can directly say 75 4 is 300, so it is root 3 by 4. So go for option A in this case. So simple CM calculation, be careful. Next one, two perfectly elastic bodies A and B of identical mass moving with 15 and 10 respectively collide along the direction of line joining them. The velocities after the collision are respectively, because they are identical, velocities will be exchanged. So A will go with 10, B will go with 15. Go for option A. Next one, what is the linear velocity of a body on the surface of the earth at the equator, given the radius of the earth is this and the period of rotation of the earth will be? So we can say simply that is equal to the earth's point at that point, that particular location. So V would be omega r. So omega is 2 pi by omega t, t is 24 hours, that is 24 into what we have 60 into 60, and radius is 6400 kilometers, so into 10 to the power 3 we can go for. So it is 60 into 24 hours, so 1 hour is 60 hours, 60 minutes and 60 hours. Okay, so this 0000 goes up. So what we are left with, this is 24 2 pi into 64. I can write it as 24 into 36 into 10 to the power 3. It would be meter per second now. So if I do this calculation, this is what we will get. 64, I can directly go with 16. I should go, this is 4, this would be 6, 4 4 I am taking both, so 6 and 9. So still I have a scope. This is 3, this will be 2. So what we are left with, this is 4 pi upon 27 into 10 to the power 3. Now pi is what we have, 3.14. So 4 into 3.14 upon 27, or I should write it as 31.4. that would be better, I suppose, and I'll write it as 1000. It becomes 110 I have taken here. So what did this would be, let's say 1.1 or 1.2 into 4. So 4 into 1.1 or 1.2, it would be between 4.4 and 4.8. So it would be between 440 and 480. So I can go for 465 meter per second out of the available options. So that is how you can simplify this without doing that exact calculations. Next, the angle of dip at a certain place on Earth is 60 degree and the magnitude of the Earth's horizontal component of the magnetic field is 0.26 Gauss. The magnetic field at this point is okay. So what we are given, angle of dip is given and the magnitude of horizontal component is given. So you know that 10I is equal to BV upon BH, or better you can write it as cos I is equal to, basically cos I is BH upon total B. So B I can write it as BH upon, or BH sec of I. So BH is 0.26 and sec I is equal to sec 60 is 2, that is 0.52 Gauss. I can directly go for, this is the value of the total magnetic field at the point. For what value of R the current in the galvanometer is going to be 0. So current in galvanometer is 0, that means if this potential is 0, there is no drop here, so it would be 2 volts here. So it would be simple wire here, so it is 2 volt. So this is also 0, this is 12 and this would be 2 volts. That means that the drop here is 10 and here is 2. So what we can say, this is 10 and 2, so directly this would be equal to 1 ohm, because no current is flowing there, so only one loop is there and this is 2 ampere is flowing, so this should be 12 by 6, so R should be equal to 1 ohm. Directly you can go just by visualization. Next, unknown R1 is connected in series with 10 ohms. The combination connected to one gap of the meter bridge while the R2 is connected in another gap. Balance point is at 50, that means both are equal. Now when the 10 ohm resistance is removed from the balance point, shifts to 40 centimeter. Okay, so initially what you have, 50 means R1 plus 10 was equal to R2. Now when 10 is removed, this R1 by R2 is 40 by 60. 40 by 60 means this is 4 by 6 or 2 by 3. So what we can do, put the value of R2 above. So R1 plus 10 is R2, I can write it as 3 by 2 of R1. So this R1 by 2 is 10, so R1 comes out as 20 ohms. So this option A must be the answer. R1 is 20 ohms in this case. Next one, 6 negative equal charges are placed at the vertices of a regular hexagon. 6 Q charge is placed at the center of the hexagon. Find the electric dipole moment of the system. Okay, so what I can do, I can associate a dipole with each of them. So this one would be like this. This is P, this would be P, this would be P, this would be P, this would be P, and because of the symmetry, these are 6 all at an angle with a 60 degree with each other. So the resultant you can directly go from, if you add them, it will become a regular polygon and it will be a closed polygon. So answer is going to be 0. Directly you can do, you must have done such practices many times. A series combo of N1, combination of N1 is charged. What is N1? Maybe N1 is charged to a potential difference 3 volt. Another parallel combination of N2, each of capacity C2, is charged to a potential difference V. The total energy stored in both the combination is same, the value of C1 in terms of C2. So I think a series combination of N1 capacitors, each of C1, that is missing here, and N2 each of C2, the energy is same. So in the first one, because they are in series, I can write it would be C1 upon N1 into 3V whole square, that is energy stored here it would be parallel, so half N2 into C2 into V square. So what we have, half goes, so what we have, C1 into 9 by V1, V square goes, that is N2 into by N1, sorry, this is N1, this would be N2 by C2. So C1 in terms of C2 would be C1, I can write it as N1 N2 upon 9 times C2. So it comes out as the first one which is given us. Next, the dimensional formula of the magnetic flux is going to be, now what is magnetic flux? So just remember, we can directly say E is equal to minus d phi by dt, if you remember, and E is potential is work done per unit charge, is that phi by t dimensionally. So dimensionally phi is work into time upon q. So work is energy, that is ml2 t minus 2. You must remember, I always advise to remember this is again t, and this q is equal to at. So t and t goes, so it is ml2 t minus 2 a minus 1. So going by this, again option A is the right one. Next one, in a transformer, number of turns in the primary is 140, in secondary is 280. If the current in the primary is 4 ampere, then in the secondary will be, so secondary has double the turns, so voltage would be doubled but current would be half, assuming 100% efficiency, that is we will take, because no option other is given. Two planets of radii 2:3 are made from the material of density 3:2, then the ratio of acceleration at the surfaces. What we know, acceleration at surface can be written as g is 4 by 3 pi g rho r. So what we have, the radius ratio is given, the density ratio is given, so it's an easy one for you. G1 by G2 would be rho 1 rho 2, that is 3 by 2 into 2 by 3, that comes out as 1:1. So go for option A again. Next, planet in a distant solar system is 10 times more massive than Earth and radius is 10 times smaller. Given the escape velocity from the Earth is 11, the escape velocity will be from that. So escape velocity, you know, is root 2 gm by r. So here mass is 10 times, radius is 10 times smaller, so it would be 10 times of the escape velocity, because it becomes 1 by 10. So 100 root would be 10 times, so 11 is at Earth, so there would be 110 kmps. So again, it's an easy one. A long metallic bar is carrying heat from one of its ends to the other end under steady state. Okay, variation of the temperature theta along the length x of the bar from its hot end is best described by which figure? So we are assuming it would be a uniform rod, so h would be same through all, so I can write minus a dt by dx, and that is constant. So if it is uniform, k and a are uniform, so dt by dx is constant, so temperature will fall uniformly, that it would be a linear curve. Go for option B here. Next one, in a Carnot engine, the temperature of the reservoir is 927 and that of sink is 127. Work done by the engine when it transfers heat from the reservoir to sink is at 12.6 into 10 raised to power 6. The quantity of heat absorbed is, so directly what we can say, first of all, efficiency I can write as 1 minus Tc by Th, that you know is equal to W by QH. So W given, Tc given, Th given, you have to find the QH here. So 1 minus Tc, 127, you will write it as 400, 927 you will write it as plus 273, it would be 1200, that is W is 12.6 into 10 raised to power 6 upon QH. So it is 1 minus 1 by 3, so that is 2 over 3. So what is QH now? So QH would be 3 by 2 into this, so 3 by 2 into this, that would be slightly greater than 12.6, that will come out exactly as 18.9 into 10 raised to power 6 joule, again option A. And next one, gas is expanded from V0 to 2V0 under 3 different processes. In figure, 1 is an isobaric, 2 is isothermal, 3 is adiabatic. Delta U3 be the change in energy then. So first of all, what we can say, this is isothermal, so delta U2 is 0. And clearly here temperature would be greater, so delta U1 is going to be positive, and it is an adiabatic, work is positive, to delta U3 will be negative. So directly delta U1 is greater than delta U2 is greater than delta U3, because positive is greater than 0 is greater than negative. Next one, the magnitude of the magnetic field at O due to the current carrying coil as shown is, okay. So first of all, what would be the magnitude of the magnetic field here? Let's say this is the first section, this is the second, this is the third, and this is the fourth section, and this is the fifth section. So what I can do, B due to 1 and B due to 4 both will be 0, because the line they lies on the axis of that wire, you can take. Now what would be B2 and B3 you need to remember. So what we can do here, because it is square, I can say B2. First of all, direction of B2 you take, it would be inwards. B3 is also inwards and B5 will also be inwards, so both will, all three will add up. So B2 what I can write, it would be mu naught I upon 4 pi r is B into one angle is cos 90, that is 0, and other would be equal to, if you join it, it would be 45 degree, you know, that is 1 by root 2. And I think that would be for B3 also, so B3 is equal to B2. Now what is B5? That would be equal to mu naught I theta. Theta is, you can say, 3 pi by 2 upon 4 pi a, you can write. So what we have, this pi and pi goes, this is 3 mu naught I by 8a. So what we will have, the net field, if we add, this would be 2 times, so I can write directly as mu naught I 2 pi b, and it would be 1 by root 2 here, plus 3 mu naught I by 8a. Now going by this options, what you are left with, so if you do this, what you are left with, so if I take common as, what I should do, I should take this one mu naught I by 4 pi, I take as common. So if I take as 4 pi, it would be root 2 by b, and here it is 4 pi, pi is not there, so pi will come above 3 pi, and this would be 2, 3 pi by 2 you can directly go for here. So 3 pi by 2 should be coming here. So I don't think any option is coming out as correct. If I go for the closest one, it would be 3 pi upon what, okay, 2a. So this is okay, this is coming out as, this is 2 pi here, this is also not correct. So what we can do, we are left with no choice here. I'll go for this one, this should be 2 here also. So this should be, the D is the closest one, but it is still not the correct one, I feel. Next one, the strength of the magnetic field along a long straight wire around a carrying is same everywhere around the, no, it is inverse to the distance, you know, B is mu naught I by 2 pi r. So this is a straightforward question to you. Next, you have a stone of density 2000 kg per meter cube completely immersed in a lake is allowed to sink from rest. If the effect of friction is neglected, then after 4 seconds the stone will reach a depth of, okay, so no friction, no viscous force you have to take. So it is 2000 kg per meter cube, and it is in let's say a water or something. So this acts as mg, and this would be fb. So what we have, because this mg would be more, acceleration would be mg minus fb upon m. So what we have, this is mg, fb you write as rho of fluid into volume, volume you can write as mass upon density of body into g upon m. So you can directly say g1 minus rho f by rho f. That is the acceleration you will have. So g is g, 1 minus this would be 1 by 2, so this is g by 2. So acceleration is g by 2 downwards. So after 4 seconds it will travel a distance half at square, half g by 2 into 4 whole square, that is g by 4 into 16, that is 4g, that is 39.2 if I take as 9.8. So it is 39.2 meters here. Next one, body is projected up a smooth inclined plane with velocity v from the point A as shown in figure. Angle of inclination is 45 degree and the top is connected to a well of diameter 40 meters. If the body just manages to cross the well, what is the value of v? Okay, so projected with velocity v. So if you throw with velocity v here, this velocity becomes v dash, and v dash you know would be equal to v square minus 2g, and this is 40 meters, this is and this angle is 45 degree you are given. Length of the incline is 20 root 2, so this length you can say is 20 meters. So v square minus 2g into 20. Now this is sufficient to cross it, this would be at 45 degrees, so range is maximum, that is v dash square by g, directly you can say, and that is equal to 40. So what I can write, v square minus 40g by g is equal to 40, so v square comes out as 80g, so v comes out as root of 800 I can write. So root of 800, what it is 20 root 2 I can write it as, so it should be 20 root 2 meter per second. Go for option D here. Next one, heavy uniform chain lies on a horizontal tabletop. If friction coefficient is 0.25, then the maximum fraction of the length of the chain that can hang from one edge of the table. So you must have done it, I remember this fraction, you write it as mu upon 1 plus mu. So that is 1 by 4 upon 1 plus 1 by 4. That comes out as 1 by 5, or you can say that is 20% length can hang over it. Now if you wish to determine how it came, if you don't remember, let me take it like this. Let's say I say this x length is here and this L minus x length is here. So the normal reaction from the table would be total mass divided by L into L minus x into G. That would be the normal, and this is Fs, and this is the pulling mass, which is m by L into xg. So for stability, Fs must be equal to m by L into x into g. That should be less than equal to mu s n. N is what? M upon L into L minus x into g. So this mg g L goes. So what we have, if we take that fraction as x by L, so divide both sides by L or keep it x by L. X by L should be less than equal to mu s into 1 minus x by L. That is the fraction. Let's call it neta. So neta should be less than equal to mu s 1 minus neta. So you directly get neta should be less than equal to mu s upon 1 plus mu s. So maximum fraction is mu s upon 1 plus mu s. Next one. A system of two blocks is at rest as shown in the figure. Variable horizontal force is applied to the upper one. The maximum possible contact force exerted by the horizontal ground surface on the lower block is coefficient of friction for both the contacts is mu. Okay, so what would be the possible? So here if I draw the FBDs, first of all, let me draw it separately. So because this force Fx here, it's a tendency to go forward, so friction will act here. Let's say this is F1 and this F1 acts here, so this would act here, that is F2. And this normal N1 by balancing would be equal to mg, and this N1 will be exerted here also, plus 2 mg would be equal to N2. So you can directly say this N2 is equal to 3 mg. So what we can directly make it out, we can directly say F2 maximum value would be equal to mu times N2 which is equal to 3 mg, and the normal N2 is equal to 3 mg. So the R2 max that I can talk about would be under root of 3 mg whole square plus mu times 3 mg whole square. So what it would be, 3 mg common under root of 1 plus mu square. Directly you can say the maximum value could be like this only. Next one. If in nuclear fission a piece of uranium of 5 gram is lost, the energy obtained in kilowatt hour is. So simply you have to take that delta E released as delta M into C square, nothing else. In kilowatt hour you have to do delta M is 5 gram. So what is this? This is 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 C square. Let me do it in the SI unit, 9 into 10 to the power 16. So this would be in joules. First of all, calculate like this. This would be 45 into 10 to the power 13. And if I convert 1 kilowatt hour, you know 1 kilowatt hour is 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule. So this is what we have. This is 5 and this is 0.4. If I had to go for the 9 table, so 50 upon 4 I can do, that is 12.5, and if this would be 10 to the power 7, so it would be 1.25 into 10 to the power let me do, it would be 12.5, yes. And if I am doing the calculation right, 13 and 6, that should be 7, so it should be 10 to the power 8. So it's 10 to the power 8. There's some flaw in it, so I'll going by the details. So it should be 1.25 into 10 to the power 8. Still it is bonus, and if I see their solution, they have taken it to be 0.5 gram. So if you take it 0.5 gram, then it would be correct, but in the given option it is not right. In a nuclear reactor, the function of the moderator is to slow down, is to decrease number of neutrons, speed of neutrons. Slow down means to decrease the speed of neutrons, that's the easiest one for you. The magnitude of the maximum acceleration is pi times that of maximum velocity of SHM, the time period is. So if you remember, Vmax of SHM is omega A, and A max is equal to omega square A, or you can say that is omega times Vmax. So clear cut, omega is pi, so time period is 2 pi by pi, that is 2 seconds. Again an easy question for you, it won't take much of your time. Next. A pole is floating in a liquid with 80 centimeter of its length submerged. If it is pushed down a certain distance and then released, the time period of vertical oscillation is going to be. So if you directly remember this thing, time period, you can directly write 2 pi upon L, which is inside immersed, upon G. So it is 2 pi, immersed length is 0.8 and G is 10. So just 2 pi into 0.08, that is what you can write. So 2 pi under root 0.08, so 0.08 what we will have, it won't be it would be 0.09, so it would be 0.3 means it would be 1 by 3, I suppose, 1 by 3 lesser than that 1 by 3 thing. So 1 by 3 things, it would be tough to get a call. Or let me try it like this, write it as 4 into 0.02. If I do this, so it becomes 4 pi and it becomes what we have. This is, I can write it as 0.02, 2 by 100, so it becomes 1 by 50. So 1 by 50 is close to, let's say, 7. So 4 pi by 7 seems to be the closest one. Go for it. Or might be with G 9.8, you might get exact. But nevertheless, we can go for it. A photocell is receiving light from a source placed at 1 meter. If the same source is to be placed at 2 meter, we say intensity becomes 1/4, but Kmax and the frequency remains same. So the ejected electrons moves with 1/4 energy, no. 1/4 of momentum, no. Will be half in number, no. Intensity will become 1/4, so they will be 1/4 in number. Go for option D. Again an easy one for you. Next. The frequency of the incident light falling on a photosensitive metal plate is doubled. The kinetic energy will be more than doubled. This is the question that has been asked multiple times. What is the logic here? In the first case, let it be K naught. K naught be h nu minus phi. Now let it be K. When you did it, this becomes 2 nu. So clear cut, you can say 2h nu minus phi is greater than 2h nu minus 2 phi, or you can say K is greater than 2 times h nu minus phi, that is K is greater than 2 times K naught. So go for option C. Two liquids which do not react chemically are placed in a bent tube or a U tube, you can say, as shown in the figure. The height of the liquid above the surface of separation are H1 and H2. So if they don't react, you have two liquids of their separation R. So what we can directly say, at this point the pressure must be same. So the gauge pressure due to this is rho 1 g H1 should be equal to rho 2 g H2. So the height should be, so H1 by H2 comes out as rho 2 by rho 1. That is not proportional, inversely proportional to their densities. Go for option B in this case. Next one. You have a soap bubble of radius 0.03 meter, another of 0.04, put together so that has a common interface of radius r. Then the value of r is, that is, again, I always advise you to just remember it. This r you can directly write as r1 r2 upon r2 minus r1, bigger minus a smaller. So it is 0.03 into 0.04 upon 0.04 minus 0.03, that is 0.01. So it comes out as, it would be 0.0012 upon 0.01, so it comes out as 0.12 meters. And you can refer your notes. I think every institute tells it directly or shows you how to do this. So I'm not taking that particular thing. If you want, you can try it. You will see it at many places. An air bubble in a glass slab with a refractive index 1.5 is 5 cm deep when viewed from one surface and 3 cm deep when viewed from the opposite face. The thickness of the slab is, okay, what would be the thickness of the slab? Directly you can say it is 8 into 1.5, but let me tell you the way of doing it. Otherwise you will say that I am doing most of the questions directly without explaining the things. So let me explain it. Okay, let it be like this. Okay, so let it be when viewed from one surface from the opposite surface. Let's say this thickness be T. Now what we have, let's say this is some air bubble here. Let it be T1 and let it be T2. So when viewed from here, what we can say, the apparent depth will be equal to real depth upon n12, that would be n of glass. Okay, so this apparent depth comes out as 5. So 5 would be T1 upon 1.5. Similarly from the other side, 3 would be equal to T2 upon 1.5. So from here T1 is 7.5, from here T2 is 4.5. So T is T1 plus T2, that comes out as 12 centimeter. Next one. Ray of light passing through a prism of a refractive index √2 undergoes minimum deviation. It is found that the angle of incidence is double the angle of refraction than the angle of the prism is. Okay, so we know mu is equal to sine of delta min plus A, and delta min Angle of incidence is given. Okay, so I can write delta min plus a by 2 upon sine of a by 2, that is being written here. And what it is given, that the angle of incidence is double the angle of refraction within the prism, that is being given to you here. So what we can write, we write delta minimum in this case is 2i minus a, because of symmetry I is equal to a, and I is double the refractive index, so it becomes out as 4a minus a, that is 3a. So delta minimum is, okay, is double the angle of refraction within the angle of incidence, double the angle of refraction within the prism. Sorry. So let me do it. What we can do here, so delta minimum here will be, what we can say, 2 times of I minus e, because both sides angle will be same. It is double the angle of refraction, so it is what we can say, so it is I minus I by 2, or you can write as a delta minimum is equal to I. So del minimum is equal to I here, you can directly say, and this I is it written as 2i minus a, so from here you can make it out I is equal to a, because del minimum in general is 2i minus a, and you can also write it as I1 minus R1 plus I2 minus R2, and R1 R2 both are equal, and that is equal to I by 2. So I have used both the things, so remember I have used both the formulas here. So I is equal to a, so put it, so root 2 is I is equal to a, so delta minimum would be coming out as what we can say, delta minimum is 2i minus a, that would be equal to a, so that is sine of a upon sine of a by 2. So it would be 2 cos of a by 2, you can directly call out. So cos of a by 2 is equal to 1 by root 2, that means a by 2 is equal to pi by 4, that means a is equal to pi by 2, or a is equal to 90 degree. For this case, go for option B. Let me again next one. Uniform meter scale of mass 1 kg is placed on a table, meter scale, that means 1 meter, such that a part of a scale is beyond the edge. If the body of mass 0.25 kg is hung at the end of the scale, then the minimum length of a scale that should lie on the table so that it doesn't tilt. Okay, so what we can have here, let me have it, it would be something like the surface, so the the scale be like this. So what we have, a part of the scale is beyond the edge, and here you put some mass. So here you are putting some mass. So what should be the, what is given, what should be the minimum length of a scale that should lie on the table so that it doesn't tilt. So it doesn't tilt. In the limiting case, we can say that the normal reaction or the center combined CM lies here. So combined CM lies here. So what we say with the, let's say this length be x, so this length is equal to 1 minus x. So let's say this is the this is at 0.5 meter, you write it as this is your CM of the rod. So what I can say, 1 into 0.5 plus what we have from here, if I measure, that is 1 into it would be 1 is the distance into 0.25, or I should write 0.25 into 1 in the same sequence, not to confuse you. 0.25 into, because it is a distance of 1 from this point, divided by 1 plus 0.25, that should be equal to x. That is what should be the value. So what we can do here, so it is 0.75 upon 1.25 is equal to x. So x comes out as 3 by 5, or you can say that 60 centimeter. That is option D. Go for it. Next one. Two solid cylinders A and B of the same mass and same radius start rolling down a fixed inclined plane from the same height at the same time. The cylinder A has most of its mass concentrated near the surface, B has most of its mass concentrated near the axis. Which statement is correct? Now this is very interesting. They are rolling. So they are rolling, so acceleration you know is equal to g sin theta upon 1 plus k square by r square, you write. Now the A has most of its mass near its surface, so you can clearly say k for A would be greater than k for B. K for A is greater than K for B, that means A for A is lesser than A for B, so B will reach faster and B will have more larger linear acceleration. So this would be option C. It will reach earlier with more with a larger angular speed. You can directly, to remove your confusion, the logic is the VB would be greater than VA, and omega is equal to what we can say, V by R is same for both, so the one which reaches with more speed will have the more angular speed, so we can go for it. Next, A Zener diode having breakdown voltage of 15 volt is used in a voltage regulator circuit. The current through the diode is, okay, so this is 20 volt, this is 15, so you can make it out, this is 5 volt, so the current flowing through it is 5 upon 250, that is 1 by 50 amperes, you can write. And through this would be kilo ohms is given, sorry, so here what we have, the drop is 15 and it would be 1000. So 15 by 1000 means 3 by what we can write, 3 by what, 200. It is 3 by 200 amperes. So definitely this current would be 1 by 50 minus 3 by 200. So it is 4 minus 3, that is 1 by 200 ampere, or you can simply write it as 5 milliampere. Go for option D in this particular case. In NPN transistor circuit, the collector current is 10 milliampere if 90% of the electron emitted reach the collector. So 90% reaches, that means this IC is 90%, 90 by 100 of IE. So clearly IE becomes 100 by 90 into 10. So it is 100 by 9. So it is 11.1 milliampere, you can say. So IB would be IE minus IC, that would be 1 milliampere, close to that. So the emitter current, these options are correct, incorrect. So only option A could be the possibility. Go for it. Next. For a rigid diatomic molecule, the universal gas constant R is NCP, where Cp is the molar specific heat at constant pressure and N is a number, hence N equals. So what it is given, rigid diatomic, that means we don't have to take vibration. So Cp for rigid diatomic, you know, is 7R by 2. So going by this logic, it would be 2 by 7. So N would be 2 by 7. 2 by 7, you can write it as 0.28 something, that would be the most appropriate thing. Go for option C here. Next. Spherical liquid drop placed on a horizontal plane. Small disturbance causes the volume of the drop to oscillate. The time period of oscillation of the liquid drop depends on radius, density and surface tension. Which among the following will be a possible expression based on dimensional analysis? I think that is what it wishes. So dimensionally, time period, what it could be? So radius, so T, let's say proportional to R to the power A, rho to the power B, S to the power C. So go by that logic, T. So let me write it completely. T, I can write it as M0, L0, T0. This would be R. R is L to the power A. Density is mass per unit volume, ml minus 3. And surface tension, you know is surface tension is what you write as force per unit length, that is mt minus 2. So comparing this B plus C, M coefficient is 0, L coefficient A minus 3B is 0, that means A is equal to 3B first of all. So R would be 3 times the density 1. So we are left with these two choices, and for the last one we have this is, sorry, T1. How can I write it as 0? So T coefficient, if I take, this is directly minus 2C is 1. So C is minus half. So C is minus half, so B is plus half. So you can directly go for this option C. Nothing else is possible. Only C can be the possible answer. Next one. The angular width of the central maxima in the Fraunhofer diffraction pattern is measured. Slit wavelength is given. With another wavelength, it decreases by 30%. So you directly know that is width of central maxima is proportional to lambda. So it decreases by 30%. That means lambda should also decrease by 30%. So it is 4200 angstrom. Directly you can take it. Next. In an ideal double slit experiment, when a glass plate of thickness T is introduced in path of one of the beam, intensity where central maxima occurred remains unchanged. That means the path difference introduced, mu minus 1 T is n lambda. So T is equal to n lambda upon mu minus 1. So minimum thickness would be n equal to 1. So that is lambda upon mu minus 1, that is 0.52 lambda. You can directly go for, again, this is a question previously being asked. Next. String of density is 7.5 gram per centimeter cube. Area of cross section stretched under a tension when it is plugged, the speed of the transverse wave. So you know V is equal to root T by mu, and if you convert this mu, this convert into T rho A. The T is 20, Rho is 7.5 gram per centimeter cube. So if I convert it into SI unit, it would be 10 to the power 3. Area is 0.2 mm square, so 2 into 10 to the power minus 7 I can write. So now what we have, this is 10 to the power 3, 7, 10 to the power minus 4. So up goes, it would be 20 into 10 to the power 4 upon 7.5253. This is 4. So this is 200 by root 3. I can make it out. So 200 divided by 1.732. So definitely it will be greater than 100, and it would be 116 can be the only possibility out of these. Next one. Closed organ pipe, open organ pipe tuned to same fundamental frequency, ratio of their length is. So the fundamental frequency is same for closed pipe. We know V upon 4 LC, that is equal to, for the open, V upon 2 LO. So LC upon LO would be equal to 1:2. Go for option D, that is the only one we can do. Next. Engine pumps water through a hose pipe. Water passes through the pipe, leaves the speed 2 mass per unit length is 100 kg per meter. What is the power of the engine? So power of the engine, that we will say, is energy per unit time, that is dk by dt. You can write. Now kinetic energy is what you can say, half mv square passing out, that you can write it as half v square, you can write it as dm by dt. Multiplying both sides by dl, you can write it as half v square into dm by dl into dl by dt, which is v, that is half dm by dt into v cube, that we will get. So dm by dt is 100 and v cube is 8, so it is 440. You can directly go for option A here. So it would be, what we can say, it would be 400. There is issue in this question because this is a question asked in AIPMT, and most of the books give answer is 800 and the app is also giving us 800, but I still believe its answer should be 400. So I am going what I feel, because this is how generally the questions are being done in this case. Otherwise the people are like say, they simply say force into V, F into V logic they will give, and they will simply say force is equal to rho a v square into v cube. So that is how they generally try to explain it, but I don't go by that logic. I'll stick with this. Maybe it might be wrong, but I feel this is the correct way. Next, power applied to a particle varies with time as this. Then the change in kinetic energy between 2 and 4 seconds. Directly you can say delta k is integration p dt. That is what I did in the question just before, and that is delta k is integration p dt, that is 3t square minus 2t plus 1 dt from 2 to 4. So this is t cube minus t square plus t from 2 to 4. So it is 4 cube minus 2 cube minus 4 square minus 2 square plus 4 minus 2. So it is 64 minus 8, that is 56. 4 square 16 minus 4, that is 12 plus 2. So this is 58 minus 12, that is 46 joule. Again, this is a repeated question, I think, from previous test. So this was today's paper. Thanks for watching.